Hey y'all, it's Hans. Welcome back. We've got one of the most anticipated night vision scope reviews probably in the last 12 months. So stay tuned. We got a bunch of video. We've got a lot of talk about, well, let's just go ahead and show it. The brand new Pulsar Digex C50. People have been calling Outdoor Legacy Gear, calling, asking for me, wanting to know when the Digex C50s are going to show up. There's a lot of people that thought that they were already available for sale, even for the last 12 months, because these things have been available over in Europe for quite a while. There's a lot of confusion. Are they here? Are they not here? I'm going to tell you, they are finally here. We've had a chance to test it. Before we get into the review, and as we normally do with all the specs and the walkarounds, ID ranges, that kind of stuff, if you are interested or in any night vision or thermal optic, you can call us over at Outdoor Legacy. Phone number is 877-350-1818. You can speak with me directly. You can speak with Jason. Both of us do the late night vision show, so you can check that out as well. We've already done the full review over there. This is more of a condensed review. But so we're going to jump right into the specs right now. There's a lot to say about the brand new Pulsar Digex C50. So the specs. This is a day and nighttime scope, so you can use it, obviously at night. It's a night vision scope, but during the day it's full color. So this is a first for Pulsar. This is our first day and nighttime scope. Now, their previous nighttime scopes you could use during the day, but it was just a grayscale, didn't look good. This is full color during the day picture image. We're going to be rolling video so you can get a chance to see all of that coming up. It does have 5 rifle profiles, so if you're talking about switching it on and off to different rifles, a lot of people are wanting to do that, whether you're using a bolt action or an AR style rifle. I'll have more to say about that a little bit later as far as mounting options. Picture-in-picture display. It's a really popular feature that people ask about all the time. It's a feature that I use quite a bit. Having your full screen up while you're scanning or shooting and having the little zoomed in box at the top, man, it really makes it nice to take a really tight first shot, but also leaves your wide field of view up in case you need to take some running shots, which happens time to time. These are recoil rated for 375 H&H caliber or 12 gauge shotgun. Pulsars are built like tanks. They can withstand a lot of recoil. And 375 H&H caliber is a pretty big caliber, obviously in 12-gauge shotguns. Well, there are a lot of shotgunners out there that I talk to that do a lot of coyote hunting for shotgun. With shotgun, this can definitely handle that. It starts out on a 3.5 power and goes up to 14 power. It is a digital zoom, so the zoom is going to double every time you magnify the image. So 3.5 to 14 power. It's got an AMOLED display. I want to talk a little bit briefly about the Some Light feature. That's a new feature, brand new on the market, but it gives you optimal vision basically in low light conditions. So we'll talk a little bit more about that here later on as well. That is the Some Light feature. It does record video and audio. Video quality looks great. Audio quality on the Pulsar scopes are really, really good. They got a great microphone in them. It does have Wi-Fi on board, so you can stream it to the Stream Vision app. They say that operating temperatures are in temperatures that you will never see me. Negative 14 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 122 degrees. So, you can count me on any one of those two extremes. Is IPX7 waterproof rating. So a lot of guys call and say, hey, if I'm out and it starts pouring down rain, are these things okay? Absolutely. We're outside testing this stuff in nasty weather all the time, and these things are built to withstand a lot. So, IPX7 is basically submersed in 3 foot of water for 30 minutes. So if that's happens to your scope, there's a lot more problems probably than just the scope. Somebody needs to come and check on you. One of the big things that they're touting with this scope, and it's also an important thing, a 3-second startup. A lot of people may not understand or know what that means, or a lot of you that be like, oh, great, that's awesome, 3 seconds. By the time you turn the power button on, how long it takes for the scope to boot up and be operational. A lot of scopes are, in the, I would say 9 to 10 second range is pretty normal. Anything over that's a little high. 3 seconds is outstandingly quick in the world of night vision and thermal digital optics. 3-second startup, that's a really, really big deal. The IR light that comes on it, you can see it's mounted right here. It is, I'd say it's good as far as distance, 200 to 250 yards or so. We'll talk about aftermarket IR lights as well. The field of view, 35 feet at 100 yards. And the weight, and I've got this mount on it. This is American Defense Manufacturing mount. The weight with the mount is about 55 ounces. So it's all there. You're not going to lose it. You're not going to feel like it's light as a feather and where did my scope go? Let's do a quick walk around and then we'll get to a lot of the other stuff. Focusable objective lens, plastic, not hard plastic lens cover. It has a really cool design, removable IR light. Not everybody wants to use the factory IR lights. They understood that. They took it off, or they give you the ability to take it off. It has a power button right here and a brightness adjustment dial on top. So, you can have low light. You can crank it all the way up to as high as you want. But there's a little light on that power button. That way, when you're out, you know that light's on. Now, this IR light runs on an APS-2 battery. It's rechargeable, comes with the scope. And the scope itself has an internal battery and a removable APS-2 on top. So similar to the Pulsar Thermion thermal scopes, it's got the internal and external battery system design. You'll be able to take that battery out. And it works really, really well. I mean, very used to it if you're used to Pulsar optics, but fully rechargeable IR light and scope. You've got these are the buttons you're going to be using most often when you're out in the field. You got your power button, your on and off, obviously your power on and off button. You've got your magnification button, your record button. Your main menu, to get in your main menu, is going to be with the full menu button that you push this button in, and there's a roll dial right here that goes through your advanced settings. So that's more for when you're setting up the scope or trying to do some advanced setting stuff. These buttons are used for out in the field. I mean, operating this thing at night, I guess maybe because I'm so used to the Pulsar Thermion, this is just like any other scope that I've ever operated. But if you're brand new to this design of scope, if you're brand new to Pulsar, you will not have difficulty figuring this thing out. Pulsar, I would say, is one of the easiest as far as learning curve to get used to how to operate the scope. They're one of the easiest, sighting them in, setting them up. You can tell the Pulsar products just have a little bit more attention to detail. You just when you hold it, when you feel this thing, you feel it. Again, that it's made out of good materials. It's aluminum, made out of the same housing, the same frame as the Pulsar Thermion. I think that's the walk around. Let's talk about accessories. To maybe make a little bit of an improvement. So the first thing is, this is mounted with an American Defense Manufacturing 30 millimeter recon mount. The great thing about this mount, obviously it's quick release, so you can take it on and off the rifle without having to, if you wanted to swap it rifles, you don't have to re-zero. So it is a quick release mount. American Defense, we've talked about them a lot on this channel, best mounts in the industry, and in our opinion. But you can purchase that. The mount's $199. You're buying a nice scope, put it in a good mount. That way you don't have to worry about it shifting or losing zero. Be able to switch it on and out to different rifles. IR lights. Really, when it comes to distance with night vision scopes, really they're limited in visibility because of the performance or the quality of the IR light. This is a pretty decent quality IR light, but if you need to be able to see out further than 200, 250 yards, this scope can absolutely do it. But you're going to need to get an aftermarket IR light. We sell the Sniper Hog lights. There's 3 models. There's the 50 LRX, the 66 LRX, and the Coyote Cannon. So the 50 will get you out, I'd say, about 400 yards or so. The 66 LRX will get you out between 600 and 800 yards, and the Coyote Cannon that'll stretch you all the way out to about close to 800 to 1,000 yards. So a lot of people will mount the aftermarket IR lights underneath the barrel of the rifle towards the muzzle. That way, it kind of, whenever you shoot and it blows out all that smoke, it kind of helps with not losing much visibility. So you can definitely take that light off, use an aftermarket extended light, a light extender, and that way you'll be able to see out further. But then again, those sniper hog lights are also rechargeable, so you're not losing that functionality and that convenience. That's the accessories and the walk around and the scope. As always, if you have any questions, you can always comment to this video. You can always call us again at 877-350-1818. I told you the ID range. It's going to be about 200 and 250 yards. I'm going to jump into the likes and dislikes. I'll start with the dislikes first, because I think that as far as when you're talking about dislikes, you're really nitpicking a lot. I will say probably the biggest thing is going to be the weight. I mean, it's with the mount, 55 ounces, weighed it on a scale. It's pretty heavy. But I will say when you put it on a rifle, it's pretty well balanced. So it doesn't feel that heavy. It doesn't feel like it weighs 55 ounces. But that's pretty heavy. But you have to think about everything that's going on with this and what you got on this optic. If you take the IR light and you're using another IR light, that will take some weight off the scope, obviously. But then again, the weight is a little heavy. Really, other than that, that's the only dislike I had. I'm going to tell you as far as likes, and I want to talk about the some light feature for all you deer hunters out there. And for me, I'm in the same category. I deer hunt now with a digital scope. I've hunted with some other digital scopes in the past. This deer season, I plan on deer hunting with this digital scope. I like hunting with digital scopes. And now that this is a daytime optic, it works out great. Now they have a feature called the Sum Light feature, SUM, Sum Light feature. That is, it's trying to give you some of the same performance that you would get with a high-end daytime scope. The really expensive high-end daytime scopes, big objective lenses. You have, when you go from light outside to start to getting dark, going into dusk, you only have a few minutes of daylight left to shoot. Really nice daytime optic will still gather enough light that you can take a good shot late, and close to the evening to hours. And that's important for a lot of people, to be able to stay out there as long as possible and legally hunt. Well, the Sum Light feature is kind of the same premise. When you switch it into Sum Light mode, you turn the objective up here, and then you also change it in the menu. It is gathering more light. So early in the morning, when you're deer hunting, because you definitely don't want to take a rifle out with an IR light if you're deer hunting. You could get in trouble. But in the early mornings, when it's going from dark and dawn, getting lighter outside, being able to put it in Sum Light mode to gather more light in the early mornings or in later in the evening, so you can stay out there and legally deer hunt a little bit longer with something like that. So that feature does work pretty well. It's new in the market. There's no other optic that has this feature. So that's a big bonus, and maybe they will continue to do some more testing and more, making that feature a little bit better. I mean, it's still pretty cool. It's still new, but maybe they can do some advancements to make it even better on future models. But this is the only digital scope that has that feature. So it's a good direction to see as far as development. Other likes, I mean, I love the fact that it's fully rechargeable. Again, it's a Pulsar product. It's made well. Attention to detail, the menu, the setup, the picture image at night, and you've seen some of the videos, is some of the cleanest digital video that I've seen. As far as not that much noise at night. A lot of times when you're videoing at night and videoing with a scope, there's a lot of noise, a lot of white noise. This is a very, very clean nighttime image. Very impressed. The daytime image is good. Definitely usable. There's some other scopes out there during the day that have a little bit better picture image, but as far as overall with day and nighttime image, this thing is fantastic. The price on it, which I failed to mention up to this point, the price on it is $13.99, so right at $1,400. So it does make it one of the most expensive night vision scopes on the market, but it has more features, it has more functionality, and more performance than any other night vision scope out on the market. This is the new scope that I'm going to start to hunt with for day and nighttime use when I'm out deer hunting and also want to stay out and maybe shoot some hogs and coyotes. So go check it out. If you want a longer review, maybe a different perspective, you can check out the Late Night Vision Show over on YouTube. That's the Late Night Vision Show. We just did a review on that. Again, if you have questions about this optic or any other thermal or night vision scope, you can call me, 877-350-1818. You can always speak with Jason as well. That's 877-350-1818. Thank you for joining us. You can check out all these optics on outdoorlegacygear.com. But we will see y'all soon. Next up, we've got the iRay cabin monocular reviews, the CBL19 and the CBL25. Excited to bring you those reviews coming up very soon. Y'all stay safe in the fields. We'll see y'all soon, and keep making them bacon pancakes.